I'm one of the owners of Hermann Wiemer Vineyard. I'm the co-owner with Fred and Marisa Merworth. And Fred and I are college mates from way back. I'm not going to tell you how far back, but so we own and run the winery Hermann Wiemer Vineyard since 2017. No, 2007.
2007.
Yeah,
Where is it? And describe what it looks like.
So Hermann Wiemer Vineyard is located on the west side of Seneca Lake in the Finger Lakes. Seneca Lake is the biggest lake of Finger Lakes, and where it's a little center of gravity of grape growing in the Finger Lakes. And we are on the west side of the lake. We also have some wineries east side of the lake, Standing Stone Vineyard, but we have almost up to 180 acres that we are now planting and managing grapes. So
and so to start off, you're clearly not from here. You're not.
I'm not. That's right.
No.
I get that is my accent. I'm from Sweden originally.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm Swedish but I studied at Cornell. I was an exchange student at Cornell University here in the late 90s. So, but I'm from Sweden. But I came here in the 90s and I studied wine, and then I never went back. I met my wife also. So between the wine and my wife, I made me stay here.
It's just a great group of, place to live, and a great group of people.
We love it here. And my wife is not from here either. She's from even further away than I am. But we love it here. We can't find it's not a better place to be. Especially, I would say between March and November. And then in the wintertime, we try to find some other place to go.
Yeah. Where is your wife from?
She's from Kenya. So
Kenya. Okay.
I know.
Cool. How did you guys meet?
We at school.
At Cornell?
Yeah. Almost over 20 years ago, we met it.
So now what did you
She was my RA. She was my RA at university.
And the rest is history, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your education. What degree do you hold? And
so I'm an agronomist, so agriculture science. That's and economics. I got my master in agricultural science and economics, which then I specialized with wine when I came to Cornell. So what roped you in? Like I know you met your wife, but like what roped you into wine in the Finger Lakes region? I have to give the credit to Cornell, because I didn't come to Cornell to study wine. I came to study other things within agriculture. And because of Cornell and the hotel school and the ag school there that has a lot of wine classes, I was interested in wine, but I took some classes and this is fascinating, and I really enjoyed it. So I took more and more classes, and I convinced my professors to do some minors in wine, and that's why. And then since I ended school, I was like, I have to work within this. This is what I want to work with. So that's what it was.
And tell me a little bit about, first of all, how do you pronounce it? Is it Hermann J. Wiemer? Is it
Wiemer? Yeah, you can do a sharper V if you can, but it's okay. Wiemer and Wiemer, but Wiemer in German would be Wiemer, yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about the history and how it got its name?
Yeah, so Hermann Wiemer is named after the founder, Hermann Wiemer himself. So Hermann Wiemer himself, the person, is considered to be one of the pioneers here in the Finger Lakes. You will hear Hermann Wiemer, you will also hear Dr. Frank and Charles Fournier and a few others who has been spearheading quality winemaking in the area. And Hermann Wiemer himself, he's from Mosel in Germany, Mosel and Bernkastel, where he and his family has a long history of grape growing, but also grafting vines in the nursery. So he came here in the 60s, worked for Bully Hill, and also established his own then winery and brand here on the west side of this. This is now in the 80s. Fast forward, Fred Merworth, who's my business partner here, is a winemaker, was Hermann's apprentice in the early 2000s. so the winery itself is known for its history, an established history, and here in the Finger Lakes. But today, the winery is equally known, or even more known, for being rather progressive in our viticulture and winemaking. So we're spearheading a lot of initiatives within sustainable viticulture, organic farming, or biodynamic farming. Our wines we don't add any yeast or any fining or filtering agent to our wines, and really making sure that the wines are anchored in the Finger Lakes to show off Finger Lakes. So as the region has developed, Wiemer and this winery has spearheaded a few initiatives within winemaking and agriculture over the last couple of decades.
And so recently, I believe it is, you received 2 awards, which is very exciting. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole region, I think Finger Lakes as a region of Finger Lakes wines, and even New York wines, have got a lot of attention lately over the last 5-10 years. And I think what you might be referring to was just last week was the Top 100 Wine Spectator Award. That is, the Wine Spectator was one of the leading magazines in the world, if not the leading wine magazine, placed our single vineyard bottling in the top 50 on the top 100. Yeah, so we showed up. Finger Lakes showed up there, and then Wines and Spirits magazine have on more than a couple of occasions have put Hermann Wiemer, but also other local wineries on the top 100 lists. And I believe Wine Enthusiast also had us and a few other Finger Lakes on the top 100. So yeah, we're showing up. It's great.
Is this the first year that you made it into that magazine, or have you made it other years?
This was the second time. Second time we made it in. It was also in 2012, I believe. 13 we had, it was the first time. So.
And can you talk about the particular wine that was placed? Tell me what it is, describe the color, the taste, and the process that goes into making it.
Yeah, so it's the wine that made it to top 100 Wine Spectator is a wine that is actually one of our most important wine. It's actually Hermann's original plantings. So Hermann experimented with Riesling plantings here in the mid-70s, late 70s, in his rather cool site, full of shale. And we have been maintaining those old vines since the 70s, and we make a wine called HJW, Single Vineyards. It stands for Hermann J. Wiemer. And that farm is now, this is where Fred and I are living. We have 2 houses around this vineyard, and it's also now farmed biodynamically. So it was a wine, one of our drier styles of Riesling. That's the one from HAW site. That's the one that got top 100. And what it is, it's a gorgeous wine. It both has weight and maturity and richness to it, but because of the shale and the cool site, it has this lean minerality and zing to it that freshens up the palate. And I think the balance between the weight and the backbone to it is what makes it a very fascinating wine, an ageable wine too.
And so how did you find out that you made that list? Like, was it a phone call? Was it an email? And did you actually get like a plaque or something, or how does it work?
Well, they don't tell anyone in advance that it was on a Monday morning and the list comes out. And I got 2 calls pretty fast from our distributor, because what happens when some of these lists comes out, it spreads at the same time around the country. So your distributor's like, do you have this wine in stock? So they ask if it's in stock. So I was like, what happened? So my phone was dinging and blinging and dinging. So I had to pull over in the car. And I was down at Faulkner Sons. I have to do a U-turn and go back. And I got on the phone with Fred. Fred, this is what's happening with top 100. Like, oh, you're crazy. This is great. So I told some of the staff, let's hold on to the wine because people are going to come running for it now. So we stacked a little bit to the side. So. So
Wonderful. And so what does that mean for business? Do you get like national or international wines? I know it can be tricky to ship wine, right? Like is that a difficult thing to do?
yeah. Well, we are now pretty established. Few wineries or some wineries here in the Finger Lakes we have established with distribution network around the country, and also we're have licenses to ship direct. We ship almost to 40 states now, so we're able to do that, to ship direct. Yeah, that's we can pretty can most people in America can get a hold of it in one way or another.
Now, how
But
does it
you
make
get phone calls from everyone, from supermarkets to esoteric stores that like, is there anything left of this wine?
how does it make you feel to be recognized for a wine that sounds like it just this particular wine sounds like it just has a lot of historic significance for you and for your partner. So
Yeah.
how does it feel?
You know what? I think the best feeling is actually the whole team gets very happy. We feel great, obviously, personally, but it's so good to share this news with everyone who works in picking the grapes, marketing the wines, working in the tasting room, and we all feel a sense of pride that all the efforts and the headaches and the swearing and the ups and downs that we have through the years and difficult harvest, because this was the 2020 vintage, which was that got recognized, which was the COVID vintage, and then we had a challenging vintage, and now we have another good vintage. So you have all these roller coasters, and then suddenly this wine shows up, and this is one of the best wines in the world. This is great. So the fact that we can share it with friends and family, that just makes us very happy.
That's excellent. What did you guys do to celebrate?
We drank a little bit, opened some good bottle of wines, but we're gonna continue celebrating. But I also think it's not, last year Fred was announced to be the winemaker of the year of Wine Enthusiast magazine, which was the first time that happened on the East Coast, the Northeast, that a winemaker from the Northeast got that. It was also a world and competitive, like a world international prize, if you put it that way. And we noticed that it's not only the winery that enjoy it, it's also everyone around. It's the whole community. Finger Lakes community is pretty strong, so we all enjoy each other's success. So we see other wineries enjoying that, their distributors are enjoying that Finger Lakes gets attention. So it's a really good communal feeling when we get these prices. So,
for sure. And not a bad deal for the local economy, this kind of
that's
recognition, right?
That's right. We rely on each other. I always talked about these bed and breakfast owners and hotels. We need your rooms so we can fill up our tasting rooms, and they need us being active, so they fill up their rooms. So it's good for everyone. So I think that's actually a very important part of it, that it's an ecosystem that we have in place here.
Wonderful. I guess moving forward, what should people know that maybe they don't know about you or about the winery?
Just come and visit. I think the tasting rooms are really enjoyable to have educational tastings here in the Finger Lakes, and we have a great team here that makes it educational and enjoyable even through the winter times. And yeah, come and taste Finger Lakes. It's we're showing up now, my friends.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to add?
I don't think so. It was lovely to be here. Lovely to talk to you.